conditions, which are pretty tough out there. He has been relentless. Apologies if you just picked up some bad language there. Dan Evans not too happy with life.
Been a double whammy, hasn't it? Because a couple of things have not gone his way, line calls, and Brooksby playing so well right now. Not missing a ball, the American. Wasn't going to be denied there, Brooksby. Wow, what a bit of defence in that backhand corner, just forcing Evans to play one more shot.
He's defended his baseline magnificently today, and much else besides.
40 love.
And you can tell he doesn't believe the calls when he hears them now. That's how little faith he has in it at the moment.
Paper, please. Thank you. Okay, Brooksby.
Well, this is just his 20th match on the surface. But it's no surprise when you look at the early part of his career that he made a final on the grass in Newport, because he looks so comfortable out there right now.
5 games to 3.
Been excellent,
so
just not missing right now.
Morning, Mr. Evans.
It felt like it was coming, something. Yeah, he moves well, Brooksby. Just shot production. Yeah, that's going to get you a warning every day of the week. That kicking the equipment.
Look, it might have been.
I mean, we're second guessing ourselves up here now.
I know.
Oh dear. Flat, low, just works so well on grass.
15 all.
So well disguised. Evans nowhere near it.
8 winners off the backhand for the American to date. Out of 19 in total.
He is in the zone, Brooksby.
15-30.
Clever pass that was, just setting up the next one.
He made 3 unforced errors off the forehand in this set.
And set a match, Brooksby.
It's Jensen Brooksby's day.
6-2,
Into the
6-3.
semi-final for the first time at Eastbourne, and thoroughly deserving of that.
Was it? Was it for me? Clueless. Thank you.
Well, you heard what Dan Evans thought of his performance. It was a really good match from the American, from start to finish. And his reaction tells you everything about his thoughts on it. Just too good on the day. Straight sets in an hour and 22 minutes.
Complaining the whole time.
Some words of advice there from
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, well, you don't want it to come to that. Evans obviously very frustrated. Brooksby, he was just locked in there, wasn't he? He just was not missing at the end. Very, very good performance from him. And it was very, very tough out there. And he just was able to deal with the conditions better than Evans today. And frustration clear from Evans.
Well, if he continues to play like that, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the latter stages this week. Dealt with the conditions so well.
Yeah, from lucky loser to semi-finalist.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Could it happen so often?
Yeah. Could it end up being the perfect week for him? Have to wait and see. But on that evidence, if it remains windy for the rest of the week, got to be one of the favourites.
We are waiting to hear from him. It won't be too long now. His thoughts on an hour and 23 minutes at the office will be fascinating.
Hopefully we'll hear from him, but he's rummaging around in his bags.
Making sure everything's packed up.
Yeah, doesn't blow away.
Chat
Or it doesn't blow away, yeah.
with Karthik Nanasuka.
Jensen, congratulations into the semi-finals here at Eastbourne. A tricky match for many reasons, that one. Playing a British player here at Eastbourne. How did you find the way that you managed to control your side of that?
Yeah, I thought I handled myself really well today. It was, very, very windy conditions. It leads to uglier tennis often, and I don't think you can expect quite as much of good play, but I thought I just stayed focused on myself the whole match, and I knew he'd put up a good fight in the second. He's always a great competitor, but, I was just glad I was able to close it out.
Well done on doing that. You came through as a lucky loser. How much does that make a bit of a difference mentally to just give everything a go and take every opportunity when you get into the main draw?
I think it only helps. I mean, you're playing more with house money, having already lost once and not necessarily expecting to be in the main draw. Just recalling back to past experiences. So I'm pretty loose and just excited to be going on.
And what about those past experiences? How can they help you now in the final four of this tournament, heading into Wimbledon? How much will you use previous semi-finals to get yourself ready for that match?
Yeah, I think a lot. I think having experienced one in Houston, going from qualies also all the way to the title, starting in qualifying here too, only gives a lot of confidence knowing my skills and my body can last that long. And yeah, it's just a big confidence booster. I've made a few other finals as well, so I've had some experiences now this late into the tournament.
Yep. And he won that title in Houston, so well done. Congratulations on making the Final Four here. Ladies and gentlemen, Jenson Brooksby.
Thanks.
Well, he's in a good place, isn't he, Jenson Brooksby, right now? And this is all invaluable time on grass heading into Wimbledon, and he's got the possibility of 2 more matches here this week.
It was a proper test today against Evans, who normally is a very good win player, but things just got to him in the end. I think most part to do with Brooksby, how solid he was. Ended up with more winners than unforced errors. Tough to really make the connection you're looking for on so many ground stroke serves as well. Baseline battle. It just was in a different league there, 33 to the 12 of Evans. And serving was tough, but those numbers are very, very impressive for Brooksby. Decent first serve percentage and the effectiveness behind the first and second. So that was a cut above Evans today, who was struggling. He didn't have to face a single break point, Brooksby. 4 breaks of his own. Excellent hour and 22 from him.
And Jakub Mensik and Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, they are all in action a little bit later on the centre court. So we look forward to seeing what they can do in terms of our semi-finals in the top half of the draw. Well, straight sets in the end for both of our matches today. For you, was that performance from Jenson Brooksby, was that the better one today, or how would you differentiate between those two?
Yeah, I mean, similar as far as win, but I felt it was a bit more windy in the afternoon. I think Brooksby was excellent. He really was. He was just so zoned in such difficult conditions. So I'd give him the MVP, if you like, today. That was a wonderful performance from the American.
It sure was. So both of our semi-finals will be on the centre court tomorrow. So I do hope you've enjoyed our coverage from Court 1 this week. We've enjoyed bringing it to you. So we'll see you again soon. But for the time being, thank you very much indeed for your company. And it's goodbye from Court 1 from Eastbourne.
for anything. Fancy footwork needed on every single shot. You just cannot predict what the wind is going to do, so you have to be ready. But yes, Yastremska playing on a special exemption this week, because even though she was ranked 42 in the world, she would have had to try and qualify, but she got to the final of Nottingham last week, so she wouldn't have made it in time. So therefore, tournament organisers nicely gave her a special exemption into the main draw, and she has reached the quarterfinals. Now, on the other side, a very interesting player. She's 20, only 20 years of age. She's earned just over $500,000 in US prize money. Her name is Alex Eala. She hails from the Philippines, and she trains and lives in Spain. Currently number 70 on the PIF race to the WTA finals, so it's been a good year. 21 wins so far for the youngster, and there was one tournament in particular where she just really went crazy in terms of wins, and it was in Miami, where she won against Volynets, Ostapenko, Keys, a walkover from Badosa, then beat Iga Swiatek before losing to Jessica Pegula in the semi-finals in 3 sets. That was when the tennis world sat up and took notice of the woman on the right. Well, here's a windswept Maria Cicak. She was involved in that crazy ball net incident, if you were watching the Barbora Krejcikova Jodie Burrage match yesterday. And she wasn't wearing a winter coat yesterday. She is today, and the hair is on end, and that's the reason why it is very, very breezy. 19 degrees Celsius, 66 Fahrenheit, overcast clouds. Humidity is right up there. The forecast from the BBC tells me it's sunny with a fresh breeze, and fresh is about right. A little bit understated, though. We know that Eala will begin serving. She was intending, I believe, to serve from the other side with the wind behind her back. As it is, she's going to have to serve into the wind. So she will be ready for that after a few practice attempts. A first match-up between Yastremska and Eala.
Ladies and gentlemen, this match will be played best of 3 tiebreak sets. Alexandra Eala won a toss and chose to serve.
So the road to Wimbledon continues in Eastbourne this week. We're in the United Kingdom on the south coast, where it is another very breezy day. Well, a warm welcome back to Devonshire Park Lawn Tennis Club. It is Thursday, and therefore quarter-final day here at this 250 level events. The road to Wimbledon continues, and we're wrapping up the grass court season here ahead of the All England Championships. Unfortunately, we can't hear what's going on, but a little conversation between Maria Cicak and Dayana Yastremska. Hopefully we could find out what that is all about. Right now, though, it's Eala versus Yastremska. A place in the semi-finals up for grabs. The Filipina, aged just 20, won the toss and will get us underway once something has happened in the corner here that we can figure out. Ah, it's the towel box, those pesky towel boxes. I think they're blowing over in the wind. They need to be bolted down today. Everything is flying all over the place. Could have a little bit of debris as well. That is the team as Eala right next to Yastremska. It's always a little awkward, I think, when they put the towel boxes right in front of the coaches, because, of course, every other game, the player's going to go to that box and be very close to the opposition's coaches. Here we go, Eala to serve. My name's Candy Reid, thanks for your company. Results have been getting better and better. She won a round in every tournament she played until Miami. And then in Miami, on the south coast of Florida, she went on a real run, beating Katie Volinets, Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys, all in straight sets. Got a retirement from Paula Badosa, which put her into the quarterfinal against Iga Swiatek, whom she beat 2-5. Then lost to Jessica Pegula in 3 sets in the semis. That was when the tennis world sat up and took real notice. Has had good runs on grass as well, Eala, after losing in the first round of Roland Garros to Emiliano Arango. That's the coaching team of Yastremska. She's got Emmanuel Husner here with her this week as coach. A little long from Yastremska. I expect a lot of that from the side that Yastremska was from, because she's got the wind very much behind her. It's going to be difficult to keep the ball in play from that side. And on the side that Alexandra Eala, getting the ball deeper than the service line is the quest. 1-0 for the Filipina. Eala playing her third, actually 4th grass court tournament already of the season. Started off in Birmingham, then went to Ilkley, where she reached the quarterfinals. Qualified in Nottingham, losing to Lynette, and has made it through from qualifying here in Eastbourne, winning 4 matches, including a retirement victory in the last round against Jelena Ostapenko, turned her ankle. As for Yastremska, 25-year-old from Ukraine, 23 wins on the season, 13 defeats. And she's 6-1 on grass, having reached the Nottingham final last week. What we know about Dayana Yastremska is there's very rarely a second gear, it's all 5th gear. It's Ferrari mode all the time. One of the biggest hitters on the tour. It's pretty flat in general. When she's on, she is sometimes unplayable. It's got that left hamstring taped, which is slightly concerning, because if anyone knows who's had a hamstring injury, those do not go away overnight. They generally get worse. Oh, I suspect we're going to have a few aborted ball tosses today. And that's why very, very windy once again, just like it was on Monday and Tuesday. Doesn't lead to great tennis. It's tennis winning ugly, essentially. If you want to come through these matches, you've got to play very smart. Use your brain to use the wind to your favour. That's a very decent slice, isn't it? Actually looked like she was going to drop the ball as a drop shot. Yastremska had made a mark and moved forwards, then had to retreat and got caught out of position given the depth. So break points for the 20-year-old. And that one lands just long. Again, that's going to be the conundrum for players on the side that Eala is on. And that one goes all over the place. A good return from Eala, kept it nice and low over the net, so the wind didn't catch it. And a bright start. 2-0. On grass so far, she has beaten Lisette Cabrera, Varvara Gracheva, who she might meet in the semi-finals here, should she win this match. Beat Gracheva in qualifying at Nottingham. Anka Tadoni ousted as well. And here in Eastbourne, Eala has taken out Sonmez of Turkey, Baptiste, who's having a fantastic year from the USA, Lucia Bronzetti, love and won the Italian in the first round of the main draw, and then she was up 3-2 in the third set against Yelena Ostapenko, having lost the first set 6-love when Ostapenko retired. Ooh, well, that's an absolute corker, and that is not uncommon for Yastremska. That's how she likes to go about her business. And no doubt she'd like a slightly less windy day. She likes a more straightforward bounce. Eala is the perhaps more adaptable player of the two. She has the slices, the dices, the quite usual lefty creativity. In general, left-handers seem anyway to be the more creative players than right-handers in this sport. Both players would have been advised to have a nice high first serve percentage, not go for too much. Just keep that first serve high. And they also, of course, would have been told not to go too close to the lines, play with a lot of margin.
Let's serve.
So break back points for Dayana Yastremska. Eala, forgetting she was on grass, must have thought she was on clay when she tried to sweep away the mark. Obviously felt that was a bad bounce. That's beautifully done. Nicely down the middle with depth from Dayana Yastremska. She can hit the ball as hard as she possibly wants to from that side of the court. So we're back on serve. Eala leading 2-1 in this opening set. It is Eastbourne, it is windy. We are on the coast, and Dayana Yastremska is serving at 1-2, having just broken back against Alex Eala. First meeting between these two. The winner to face Varvara Gracheva, who now represents France for a place in the championship match of this final Wimbledon warm-up. You can't hit the ball that high from that side. Yastremska will either have to hit the ball a lot more out in front and keep it lower over the net, or apply quite a bit more spin. That's a very effective serve. Had a little bit of jump on it, didn't it? Kicked away from the Eala forehand. Be interesting to see if Yastremska does anything different against a lefty than she might against a righty. That's always the conundrum when you're hitting that kick serve. Do you hit it normally, which would be to a right-hander's backhand? Or do you open your hips up and go down the middle, a bit more from the ad side? Do you play your game? Do you adapt to your opponents? That's where good coaching comes in, good analysis. It's a beautifully deep reply from Eala. Oh, it's Billy Harris on the right. One of Britain's finest. He'll be playing at the championships next week. This is a combined event, this one. Some of the WTA players like combined events, some don't. It's a little tricky with the practice courts because, of course, you've got more players wanting to step on the same amount of courts. Some of the ATP players are a little bit messy, from what I understand. The WTA players will go on court and there's stuff left. But I think overall, most find it a bit more fun than usual. No, that's missed as well. Yastremska doesn't need to go for that much. She needs to bring it in a bit, but that is not really the way she plays. So it is a third consecutive break of serve. It's, in these conditions, perhaps more of an advantage to return. 3-1 to Eala. Earlier today, unfortunately, a hot favourite really for the title, and the Wimbledon reigning champion Barbora Krejcikova had to withdraw from the tournament. She was due to face Gracheva. She was struggling with a left thigh injury against Jodie Burrage on centre court yesterday. Managed to save 3 match points in that encounter with Burrage, but decided obviously not to risk it. Said, quote, this is from Krejcikova, "I'm very sorry to have to withdraw from my quarterfinal today in Eastbourne as I'm having some soreness in my right thigh." Krejcikova added, "I've truly enjoyed my time down here the past week and loved being back on the grass." And that one hits its target. Krejcikova has not really played too many matches. I think it's 6 actually. 1-3, lost 3. Because she's been suffering from a bad back. Missed the entire hard court season, most of the clay. Krejcikova now looking to make amends on this arguably most successful surface. Now that's all you need to do really from the side that Yastremska's on, because the wind is right behind her and assisting with extra power. So when Eala gets the ball, it'll be really moving through the court. That's a lovely play from Alexandra Eala. It's a pattern that a lot of the lefties adopt when they're serving from the ad side. Yastremska goes for broke, but again, not the right side to do it from. And Eala has a point now for 4-1. Just played the smarter tennis. And she does hold, a rare hold today.
Leads 4 games to 1.
And so the first set is very much in the Filipinas' control. Eala 4-1 against Yastremska.
Time.
Well, one-way traffic. Dayana Yastremska in trouble here in this first set against Alexandra Eala. She hasn't held serve yet. Eala's game, which contains more spin and more trickery, has paid off. A lot of interest in this one. Oh, it was a big divot right in the box there, and Yastremska either has seen that and was trying to hit it or just got lucky. Either way, she takes the point. Oh, that is just first class. I actually thought the approach shot was a little bit off centre. It was deep enough and it was to the backhand of Yastremska, so a better place to go. But look at the volley, cushions it beautifully. And that's what makes Alexandra Eala so exciting. Perhaps a little undersized as pro players go. 5'9", 1m75, looks like she's still got some strength to go, but she's got all the game. Eala, pro since 2020, working with Alejandro Pieras here in Eastbourne. Yeah, that hits the mark. A little racket shake from Yastremska, but not giving herself much margin, is she? Going for the lines, as Maya Joynt said, that was her game style. Joint beating Emma Raducanu in a very exciting match on centre court yesterday. That's excellent depth.
Yes.
And Eala now a couple of points from another break. She's been based at the Rafa Nadal Academy in Manacor, Mallorca, Spain, since the age of 12, has Eala.
Advantage.
And it is a break point. Yastremska trying to change direction, perhaps a little bit early and not on the right ball. So Eala, who's had so much success as a junior, peaked in the junior rankings at number 2 with yet another break point. And how about that from Eala, just digging balls out, having a never say die attitude. And that's what you've got to do against Yastremska. You've got to survive the early blows, a little bit like when you're playing Jelena Ostapenko. And Eala, having had that retirement 3-set win over Ostapenko, is playing a player with a similar game style and knows how to handle it. 3 breaks now for the 20-year-old and serving for the set. It's good depth on the serve, and it's got a little bit of spin. You can see that ball moving away from Yastremska, so it's not quite in the strike zone. She's constantly bashing her legs, isn't she? And her glutes, Eala, maybe just a little bit tight. It does happen on this surface because you've got to, of course, stay so much lower than other surfaces. And they've made the tough transition, arguably the toughest in tennis, from clay to grass. Plus, Eala has played a lot of tennis in a short amount of time. Eala was sitting watching the Jelena Ostapenko match the other day on this court. Just her alone, just having a look at what she was about to face. Ostapenko beating Sonne Kartal. I'm not sure if that was an attempted drop shot or it was all Yastremska could do, probably the latter. Alexandra Eala continues to play a blinder and she's got 3 set points.
Let's pass it.
We've got a bit of delay here. It may be a wind problem. Some debris flying onto the court.
40-50.
Three set points turns into 2. Seen that backhand up the line return before. But it didn't take her long to finish it off in the end. A really smart set of tennis from the 20-year-old Alexandra Eala, ranked just outside the world's top 70 as we speak. And she has 1 foot in the semi-finals after just 26 minutes. Well, as is customary, when she loses a set, Dayana Yastremska leaves the courts for a bathroom break, more perhaps of a reset, and she really needs to think about it after losing the first set to Alexandra Eala in less than 30 minutes. Here she is, Yastremska, broken 3 times from 4 opportunities, hit 4 winners compared to 11 unforced errors. 2 winners for Eala and 6 unforced errors. Just played a much smarter first set than her opponent. Used the win to her advantage.
Second set.
Yastremska hasn't held so far and needs to start doing so right away.
Nibbles.
First serve percentage wasn't a problem for the Ukrainian. He was landing that a good 68% of the time. What was the problem was backing it up. She won 5 first serve points and just 1 behind her second serve. So 6 throughout that first set. And that is not going to get the job done. Beautifully done. Yastremska really needed to move in behind that slice. It was all she could do, and the slice was good, but you've got to follow it in, have some weight behind the shot, put a bit of pressure on your opponent. If you're moving back, the court appears bigger to Eala. Therefore, she can swing freely. So more trouble. Yastremska's team willing her on here. before this year. She'd never won a match in Eastbourne, beaten in the first round in 2019 and 2022. Good decision for Yastremska to come back, though. Needed a special exemption.
Yes.
That's more like it. Yastremska reaching the final in Nottingham last week, and due to her ranking of world number 42, would have normally had to qualify for this tournament, but the organisers decided that she could have a spot in the main draw. She's beaten Lynette via retirement, and Fran Jones took out the Brits 6-2, 6-1. And Lynette, she was up at set and 4-2 when Lynette retired with a bad knee. A lot of players being very cautious at this stage of the season.
Advantage, Eala.
Last week in Nottingham, less windy up there. Towards the north of England, she beat Olga Danilovic, Rutsic, Leila Annie Fernandez, a former finalist here, and Magdalenette. Lost to McCartney Kessler, 4-5. Kessler winning her second WTA tournament of the season, her first on grass. She has been very impressive so far in 25. And Eala breaks again, a fourth time in this match. Will that set the precedent for set 2, just like her early break in set 1 did? We shall see. Well, she's been a bit of a phenomenon since the age of 12. She won the 2018 Le Petits 14 and under tournament. That's unofficially the World Championship. She beat Linda Noskova of Czechia in the final there. Eala has also won the 2020 Australian Open girls doubles event, peaking at number 2 in the junior rankings, reached the semi-finals of the 2020 Roland Garros girls singles, won the French Open in 21 in the doubles. And in September of 22, Eala became the first Filipina player to win a junior major singles championship. She claimed the US Open Juniors in Flushing Meadows.
Love that.
So a chance here for Yastremska to break back immediately. Did break back from love 2 down in the first set, but that was the only game she won. Needed a little bit more footwork from that final backhand. Yastremska was trying to go with the open stance, but in truth, she needed to step in on that right foot. On clay, you could hit that open stance, but on grass, it just stays low and doesn't come towards you quite in the same way.
Yeah. 15-40.
That's a phenomenal shot, and that's what she can produce when the wind calms down a bit. If the weather conditions do change, then Yastremska will fancy her chances a lot more. Break points.
For
the second time in this game, a similar looking backhand for Yastremska. I would put that down as a forced error. Whether the stats people will agree with me remains to be seen. It's always a bit subjective, isn't it? The unforced, forced error count.
Yes.
And that is a wonderful serve. Just so deadly accurate. That might be something that tournaments change in the future, as players and fans can just move about freely. Just come and take a seat. In practice, of course, players are used to everybody mulling around. They don't stop their serve because of it. Just seems a little bit more fair for the paying spectator, doesn't it?
Advantage, Yastremska.
Eala wants to see the screen, see how far that was long. But she won't get to challenge. Hawkeye Live, providing the electronic line calling. Ball clearly long. Third break point then in this game for Dayana Yastremska.
Let's pass.
Oh, that one just went forward, didn't it? You can see how much the wind is behind the back of Eala. So when you throw it up, you've almost got to throw it behind the line.
Yes.
I don't know what Emanuel Hüsner is telling Yastremska, but if I were him, I would tell her to hit it hard, right down the centre of the court. Don't mess with the sidelines. Her power is one of the biggest and best on the WTA Tour. She's been to a semi-final at a major. She is a very, very good player.
Let's pass. Advantage, Eala.
Oh, that was something we haven't seen before. Yastremska coming out with a shot I don't believe that she really owns. But why not? That one was more straightforward. And unfortunately for her, that's what she's got to do today, dig out a few. Understand that it might not be pretty if she wants to win. Gonna have to go to the locker and just pick shots that might be a bit unusual.
Advantage, Eala.
Another game point for Eala. Made her WTA Tour main draw debut in 2021 in Cluj, Romania.
Let's pass up.
A lot of tournament directors have given Eala a wild card in the past.
Game, Eala.
Ticks off another game. So 3 break points in the process there.
Let's vessel. Lovely.
Just doing everything well enough right now, Alexandra Eala.
Lovely.
Does have quite a few ups and downs, Dayana Yastremska. Had to retire in the first round of Stuttgart on the indoor clay this year to Alex Eala. Later lost to Coco Gauff in the second round of the Madrid Open, despite winning the first set against the American Six Love.
Lovely.
She started to look a little hopeless, isn't she, and resigned here, Yastremska. Ukrainian announced her return to the top 50 earlier this year, following a runner-up finish in Linz indoors, no wind. It's also enjoyed impressive third-round finishes at the Australian Open, Dubai and Indian Wells. Yastremska players won 3 WTA Tour singles titles. But gives up yet another service game. The crowd here on court 1 has gone a little bit quiet. They can't believe the one-sided nature of this contest so far. Alexandra Eala broke 3 times in the first set and twice already here in set 2.
Okay, but I wasn't, I mean, that was 1 point because I had a bug on my thing. 2? Okay, next time I'll do better. But she also, sometimes she's in the towel also. Yeah.
And Maria Cicak just having a word with Alexandra Eala to speed up play a little bit in between points. 25 seconds is the limit, and the umpires this year have a mandate to be a lot more consistent with handing out time violations. But no time wasted for Eala so far on the scoreline. 6-1, 3-love. Feels like this match began just moments ago. Yastremska broken 5 times, hasn't held yet.
15.
And unfortunately, she hasn't adapted, Yastremska, to the conditions. Unforced error count getting rather high on the world number 42. Well watched, this one's going to be really tricky. Got to pick your spot and hit it, don't change your mind. Trubia, comes the call from a French-speaking coach. Yastremska based in France, but of course representing Ukraine. Manuel Hersnow's with Yastremska. He's actually a PSG Academy Pro mental and resilience coach. So there he is on the left with the beard. Works with professional footballers, Paris Saint-Germain. And she needs all the mental resolve at this point she can muster. Had break points, 3 of them, in fact, in the previous game. Couldn't take them. Now she's got 2 more. So, second game of the match, first game of this set. Will that be the catalyst for Dayana Yastremska to turn this match around? There is still time. But a first hold would be very nice for the now 25-year-old Ukrainian. We've gone into Italian now from Yastremska's coach. Bellissimo, very pretty. Well, that's good work from Eala. She's enjoyed that little pattern going in deep to the Yastremska forehand. On just 6 points behind her serve in the first set, Yastremska. She's won 5 so far here in set 2. Oh, so much wind. That was absolutely crazy. The shot from Eala just, well, it was like a golf shot that just spun 3 or 4 ways in the air. That's the culprit. But it is, of course, the same for both players. Well, the depth is what is undoing for Yastremska. Yet another breakpoint opportunity goes to the 20-year-old. It's wide, and it's just punishing. Real look of determination from Eala. She's now broken 6 times from 10 opportunities. And 4-1 in front here in set 2.
Time.
We've played less than an hour, and Alexandra Eala finds herself 2 games from a second semi-final of the season. The Seagulls looking on. Her first semi-final came in Miami. That was at 1,000 level. This is 250. Reached the semi-finals of a Canberra 200,000 US tournament at the beginning of the year.
15.
Also reached the quarterfinals of Ilkley on grass just recently. Another challenger level event. Won by Iva Jovic, who's a young American that must be seen. That's much better depth, much better placement as well from Yastremska. The wind has just settled down a little bit, which gives her an advantage. Eala will hope that the wind keeps really being blustery and annoying for Yastremska. That is a very good return.
15-40.
And the placement of the serve was excellent. Yastremska was at full stretch and managed to just hook the ball round. Look at this shot, incredibly tough, completely off the court. And just did enough with it that Yastremska takes it.
30-40.
So break back points once again. And Dayana Yastremska does break. So 2 breaks in this set, 3 for the match for the Ukrainian.
Eala leads 4 games to 2.
You've turned this around before.
Come on, let's go.
You've turned it around before, says a member of Yastremska's team. You can do it again. Can she from 2-4? There's still a break deficit and she hasn't held serve yet. That has been a major problem. Oh! Oh my gosh, that is unbelievable. Look at the way this ball moves. It's not advisable for drop shot from the side the Eala did. But look at that. Incredible. Well done, Yastremska, for digging it out. The side that she is on, you can drop shot from. The side that Eala is on, you can't really, because the drop shot turns into a short ball. Well, this is unbelievable conditions, very, very difficult. It is really blowing a gale. The pickleballers today would not be happy. The outside ones, anyway. Definitely don't hit that one, because I'm going to need to call A&E. Get a stretcher out. You'd be in traction in seconds. This stage, Yastremska has to throw the ball about 3 or 4 meters in front of her just to blow it back and be in that right position. Good day for an underarm serve, I think, this one. Former British great Leslie Charleston taught me a wind serve, where you throw the ball very, very low and out to the right and just slice around the ball. That's useful for these conditions. Well, it's all going Eala's way, apart from that very first point where the wind took the ball around the houses. She's had more luck than her opponent. This could essentially spell the end of the match with another break. That one does hit the target. Incredible from Yastremska. That backhand is an absolute bullet. So yet another break of serve. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. Yastremska failing to hold on to a serve at all in this entire match. Eala continues to make a lot of returns, and now 4 points from victory. So we've hit the 1 hour mark just about. And Alexandra Eala is serving for a place in the Eastbourne Open semi-finals, up a set and 5-2 against the struggling in the wind Dayana Yastremska. Yastremska, I'm just looking it up, has before, when she's lost the first set 6-1, only come back once before in 18 other instances. It's going to be another first serve because Yastremska wasn't ready. Someone in the crowd apparently not quite seated. So Eala, please get another first serve back.
Lovely.
So 1 in 17 stands the career record for Yastremska after losing the first set 6-1. That's dating back to March of 2016. It's actually the last time she lost a set 6-1. She actually won it this January. That's clever play. Just played an ultra smart match today, Alexandra Eala. That's where she has been enjoying going back into that forehand wing of Yastremska. .77% of first serves landed today, which is a fabulous number in these conditions. She's won over half of first serve points and, more impressively, 55% behind her second serve. That is superb. And so the time has come. It was almost a certainty, wasn't it, when she broke again for the 7th time in this match, that Eala would wrap this up. She's looked very positive, very confident, cool, calm and collected. And this is the first of 2 match points. So Alexandra Eala has reached her first ever WTA Tour semi-final on grass. A brilliant effort from the 20-year-old. From the Philippines, she gets the better of Dayana Yastremska in very efficient manner. Didn't allow the Ukrainian to hold serve at all in this just over 1 hour encounter on a very, very windy court 1. Eala takes it 6-1, 6-2. Oh boy, that was impressive. Came out with a clear game plan, executed it to perfection. Very sensible match from a very mature 20-year-old. The numbers speak louder than words, that's for sure. Served brilliantly, returned even better. Converting 7 of 12 break points today. And what a moment. She's made a name for herself, hasn't she, in juniors, and now becoming a top senior as Dayana Yastremska leaves the court winning just 3 games today. All were on the Eala serve. She'll be making her way an hour north to the Wimbledon Championship next. Well, Alexandra Eala, who's been touted as a big thing in this sport for quite some time, moves on to the final 4.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Let's go down on court and hear from Alexandra now.
Alex, congratulations into the semi-finals here on your debut. Again, just dropping a few games like you did in the first round. What is working so well for you this week on the grass courts?
I think more than anything, it's just the mentality, of course, with these, these great players and these tough conditions. It could be hard to kind of balance that patience and the will to go for the ball. So I think I did that well throughout the whole week, yeah.
You're only 20 years old. Where does that mentality come from?
I don't know. I mean, I'm only 20, yeah, but it's been a long road already, although it's only the start of my career. I have a lot of experience, with getting to know myself. So I think that's a big part of how I handle myself on court.
It's been fascinating to watch you as you've come through to the main tours. I'm sure a lot of people here will have seen your run in Miami to the semi-finals there, beating Iga Świątek, Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys. What did you perhaps learn? I know it's a different surface, but from reaching that big semi-final that you can use here in the semi-finals again. Now you're in the final 4.
No, I think there's so much. I learned so much from that week. A lot about self-belief and, and how to handle my emotions when things are going really well and as well as when things are going really bad. I think that, to pump yourself up when you're doing bad and to keep yourself humble when you're doing well is part of that balance, yeah.
Well, you're doing it incredibly well. Ladies and gentlemen, into the semi-finals, Alexandra Eala.
Thank you.
She is only 20, but you wouldn't believe it, would you? An excellent chat with Carthy, our interviewer there, as Eala talks about the highs and lows of being a professional tennis player, of which she has been for now 5 years.